And the Jets, I think they're in a little bit of issues here.
Obviously, that was below my standard. I just found out I've never thrown 2 picks in the first quarter before. So that's a first. One of us cost, obviously, 7. And the other, could have cost 3. So in a game where you lose by 6, plays like that are exponentially highlighted. So 3 turnovers for me is definitely out of character, and I'm disappointed.
So the Jets have the 25th ranked scoring offense in the league, averaging 18.6 points per game. The Jets have the 27th ranked offense, averaging 286.6 yards per game. And the Jets are the worst rushing offense in the NFL, 80.4 yards per game. Worse than Dallas. Worse than Dallas. And they have a better running back. Breece Hall is really good, and he only has 197 yards rushing. Or through 5 games? Dog, that ain't going to cut it. Are you serious? And then on top of that, Robert Saleh gets fired. He gets fired. And there's all this tension going on with him and Rodgers. I think that was real. I think Rodgers genuinely didn't like his play calling or his coaching style. It just seemed like the miscommunication was always there with those two guys. And when quarterback and head coach are not on the same page, obviously you're not going to kick Aaron Rodgers to the curb. So why don't you kick Robert Saleh, who's had 6 different starting quarterbacks since he's been the Jets head coach? So, I mean, you have to make a decision there. And he also had a 35% winning percentage, which ranks the worst in Jets franchise history among coaches with a minimum of 40 games at the helm. That is bad. And the only reason they gave him a pass last year is because Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. And they did said that Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator, is not going to be the interim head coach for the rest of the season. Which, why would you say he's the interim head coach for the rest of the season? Go get Bill Belichick. Go get him. He's available. I mean, he's there. He's the greatest coach in NFL history. You might as well go grab him. I mean, what's the worst case? Bill and Aaron don't get along? I mean, is that really what we're worried about? I wouldn't be worried about that. He's better than Robert Saleh, and he's still a very defensive-minded head coach, but he also has a lot of offensive scheme that he can bring in, what he was doing with Brady. And Rodgers, at this stage in his career, where he's 41 years of age, I mean, he can afford to stand in the pocket and do these things. So if I'm the Jets, I'm going to go get Bill Belichick. That's the move. That's the move right now. You have to make this move because it's not about the weight, because you have no weight when you have a guy of Aaron Rodgers' stature at his age. He doesn't have, his expiration date is coming up soon. So you don't have time to wait. And you have a Super Bowl caliber defense. You have Quinnen Williams, who's one of the best defensive tackles in football. You have Sauce Gardner, who's arguably the best corner in football. They have all the pieces. They also have Garrett Wilson, Al Lazard, and I mentioned Breece Hall, who's been drastically underperforming. So the Jets need to figure this out because they clearly have the roster, and the coach may have been the issue, but maybe it won't be. Maybe it won't be. I mean, I just mentioned the stats with Saleh, but I mean, God, I mean, that record is not just because of Rodgers, it's because he's just been unfortunate at quarterback, and they've had trash quarterbacks. So they need to figure it out. And they got the Bills on Monday night, and that's not a good matchup. That is not a good matchup at all. And the Vikings, they've been killing it. They're 5-0. And they didn't even play that well. Sam Darnold only completed not even 20 passes. So, and they only scored, they started the game up 17-0. And they didn't even score a touchdown until the second half in the fourth quarter. So, The Jets had opportunities. They just kept shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, that's all they continue to do. That's all they continue to do. I mean, I will give Rodgers his flowers a little bit. He is the 9th player in NFL history to reach 60,000 passing yards. Congratulations. He also passed Dan Marino for passing yards regular season and postseason. So that's a big accomplishment.
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me nice. I'm from another world, baby, yeah. Broadway paradise. They think I'm way too cold, cause I put my